Good morning, everybody. This is Daniel with Peace and Plenty Farms, working on our punch list today, June the 2nd, 2020. Just a bunch of odds and ends around the farm that need to be done. Today, I'm working on the filter for the rain gutter catch system. So what we have is two clean outs for the filter system, one right there and one right there. They're 4-inch. We just unscrew those and we can drain out whatever debris is in there. So the way it works is there's the gutter on the back of the house and the rainwater is coming down right here. It comes down this pipe right here, and any heavy gravel or debris runs around to that bottom clean out that you saw. And then the water rises right here, and there's another debris right here running downhill to the second clean out that you saw. And then supposedly the clean water rises right here and goes over and drops into these tanks. Now there's another filter screen right where it drops into the tank. These are the tanks. They're covered with camouflage plastic just to keep them from getting algae, from the sunlight causing algae. I guess there's 6 tanks under here. Let me go around and show you how we've got those hooked up. The problem for today is right here, this glue joint has come apart. So I'm going to re-glue this and re-strap everything down tight. Got some pipe strapping to strap it down tight. You can see that this clean out has actually fallen over, so we need to get that all tied down and re-glued back together. But those 6 tanks, they're under here, and this manifold right here catches all the 6 tanks together right here, and we've got water here. This is a future aquaponics project right here, a bunch of aquariums I put together. I had it running years ago. I bet it's been 6 or 7 years, but maybe we'll get it going again someday. I don't know. So this is the manifold right here that ties it all together. It's got a clean out drain for the winter time right there. Now this is where I've got it going into the ground, and it goes down to the chicken coop and the garden and all of that, and we'll show you how it's tied into the gutters on the row houses and the condos for the rabbits in the next video. But let's get this pipe fixed, and then we're gonna fix some gutters and just get some odds and ends done today. We'll let you know how it goes. Thanks for watching. We got the rainwater drain system put back together. Fortunately, it didn't take us all the way till lunchtime like the 2 rabbit cage bottoms did yesterday. But I've got the clean outs. They're now flush with the steps. I used little straps that I had, and I just strapped it and pulled it and pounded it back through because it had completely fallen out. One of the things I wanted to show you is down here on this clean out, which is the lowest point in the system. Sometimes in the winter, I don't actually want to just let the water run out. I want to collect as much as possible. So I put these there's a little tiny hole in here, and it lets the water drain out so it doesn't freeze and bust the pipe. So in the summertime, all I do is stick my toothpicks back in there, and that holds the water. Well, it's supposed to. It's still dripping there, but you get the point. That way I can not have to worry about cleaning out the system in case I'm busy. I can just come out here and pull this and drain the water so it won't freeze. So let me show you what I did over here. It involved these pipe straps. I tell you, I'm a big fan of pipe straps. I use it for everything. Like some people use duct tape, I use pipe straps. These holes in it just give you so many options to do things. So I ran the pipe strap and then gave it a little bit of a tension with the zip ties. There's one. Here's another pipe strap, and there's one here and one down there and one over there. I found another broken pipe right here, so I got that one glued up. I've got this one glued back together. It's not perfect, but it should hold for rainwater. I don't know if you noticed, but here's my batteries for the solar system. These are 6-volt batteries, and they're hooked up in series. So this battery, the positive terminal is connected to the negative terminal, just like a flashlight. If you put 2 batteries in a flashlight, you stack them up, you're doubling the voltage. So series 6-volt changes to 12-volt, and then I've got them hooked up in parallel, running along here, all the negatives and then all of the positives running over here to increase the wattage and the amperage, but it's a 12-volt system. So you've got your negative and your positive right there going in. We'll do a solar system video later on. Of course, I keep plenty of propane on backup. But that is the filter system for what it is. Doesn't really do a major job. It just takes out some of the particles, and there's a screen that where this pipe right here flows into the tanks. There's a screen, and that seems to work the best, catching stuff, and then the stuff blows away or bounces off the way it's the screen is up high. I don't know if you can see it. The screen is right there, and it's built up a little bit, and there's a little bit of a space, so any leaves or dirt that collect on there, they'll blow out or wash off the next time it rains. So it's pretty independent system right there. All right, I sure do appreciate everybody watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing. Appreciate any comments, and we'll move on to the next project, which is going to be fixing the rain gutter on the front porch. It drips right at the front door, which makes an icy spot in the winter. So we're just going to caulk that and pop rivet that together, and we'll move on our punch list for Around the Farm. Peace and Plenty Farms. Daniel speaking. Hey, on with the videos for today. So right now I'm working on this gutter right here. There's a seam. I didn't put enough pop rivets in it, and it keeps breaking loose, and of course it clogs up, and then it drips on the right here on the front door, porch, and makes ice and makes it slippery. So I had climbed up there. It was totally clogged up from this crepe myrtle tree right here. So I ended up getting the garden hose out and washing the whole gutter all the way down, cleaning it out. While I had the hose out, the garden hose out, I did a quick rinse on this little Ranger, and I thought I'd tell you a little story about this Ranger. And being on a homestead farm, budget is #1, and I can tell you that we go to yard sales, farm auctions like crazy. Any kind of auction, any kind of, I can pick up a roll of wire, nails, pipes, anything that I can get cheap in bulk at yard sales. I bring it home and sort it out and put it away. So I was at this one yard sale, and the lady had some guns for sale. So I looked at the guns mainly, and I was willing to pay $2,000 for all the guns. I think it was 6 or 7 guns. And so I knew she was a tough negotiator. I'd bought some other things from her. So I went in at $1,500 for the guns. And she said $2,000, which I knew she would. So I had seen this truck out in the shed. This was her grandmother's house. And this truck had been sitting in the shed for many years. It's got 70,000 original miles on it. Has air conditioning, V6, which is unusual in the Ranger. So when she said 2,000, I said 1,800 and throw the truck in. I never thought she'd do it, but she did it. I got all the guns and this truck. I put gas in it, put a battery in it, and drove it home. So that was a super buy. 70,000 original miles. The tires on it were worth that. I cleaned them up. I washed it just a minute ago because I had the garden hose out. Like I said yesterday, I try to make a punch list and I try to group projects together to accomplish as much as possible. Dragging that garden hose out is a real pain. It's big, it's heavy, it's sticky, it's tangled. So I did a quick rinse on the Ranger, and I just thought I'd tell you about how basically we don't pay anything for our vehicles. We get them out of the junkyard. I go on YouTube, I watch YouTube videos. I get misled a lot on YouTube videos. You've got to be real careful. Watch 10 or 15 different videos to get the correct information. Sorry about running out of battery on my conversation about this red Ranger. I was telling you the story how I got it at a yard sale. So I wanted to finish up by saying I'm going to plan on removing this stick-on chrome decal along the bottom right here, and that'll clean the truck up a lot. And it's got little scratches over it. I'm going to buff that all out. I think this will be a really good looking truck. I'm going to clean out the tools here in just a minute, but I wanted to tell you one of the major secrets, besides not paying anything for the vehicles that we drive around here, or very little, buying them from the scrapyard, getting them from friends, people donating them. So one of the keys is that we have found is having a spare vehicle. You can see over here in what I call the junkyard, right there, I've got another Ranger. A friend of mine has a junkyard. He had that in there. I bought it for the scrap metal price. Mainly it had 4 good wheels and tires on it, like brand new tires. So I made my money right there on the wheels and tires. But come to find out, the rear axle in the blue Ranger with 70,000 original miles, the rear axle's gone bad. So I took the axle out of that truck, and I've got it right here. Saved myself a lot of money by having that spare vehicle right there. I took the springs out. I may change the springs. I really haven't decided. But it'll be a really fairly easy job. I may go as far as taking the bed off for easy access, but I'm going to change out this axle. It's got way too much play. You put it in gear and the axle just bangs in where the ring and the pinion aren't aligning correctly. For whatever reason, it's easier just to change the axle. So again, one of the secrets to debt-free, sustainable farm living, have a spare vehicle to rob parts off of that, so that you can keep your vehicles going that you've hardly paid anything for. All right. Okay, I didn't expect to be out here this afternoon. My neighbor, good friend of mine, Mr. Newchuck, just called me, said I could have all of this hay out here. So I grabbed the K30 and came on out and started loading. Looks like about 23 bales of hay for free. He said it didn't wind up tight enough for him to use it, so I sure am thankful I've got this truck running. Still got a punch out list of things I need to do to fully get it roadworthy, but I jumped in it, fired it right up, and came over here. But we're gonna get this thing running. I've done a lot of work to it. New seat, a new cab, all solid floor cab, new gas tank, new shocks, new spring. You can see we've got a new spring, new bolts right there. Of course, new tires, new exhaust. Engine's got a little problem with the oil pickup, but it is what it is. Still a 4-wheel drive, 1-ton Chevy with a hydraulic dump. So we'll grab this hay up out of this field and get it over to the farm, and this will be a 2 or 3 year supply for a guy like me. Anybody need any hay? Well, thanks for watching.